Mic is hot. All right, guys, we are live with another one. Okay, we are live with another one. Welcome to the channel. This is OE MMA TV. I'm your host, OE. Like and subscribe if you are new to the channel. It takes minimal effort to give me the thumbs up, so you might as well do it. Thank you for supporting independent MMA media, guys. And like I always say, this is your channel, the only channel where the fans come first, not last. All right, guys. Breaking news, guys. Breaking news, big news. News that I honestly didn't expect. Okay, yesterday when I got on here, on the live, and I started making my UFC fight predictions for UFC 319, the best card that Sean Shelby and Mick Maynard had put together for 2025. Thank you for that treat once again. Okay? But when I was making that live yesterday, never did I think that I will go to sleep and wake up to such big news about the UFC new TV deal, guys. Guys, I got to give the UFC and Dana White a round of applause. I got to give credit when credit is due once again. The UFC have made what I believe is to be the best move that the UFC could have made. I never saw this coming, guys. I never saw this coming, not even a little bit. I honestly thought Netflix was high and most likely was, highly ranked, and it was a high candidate to land the UFC. But apparently, the UFC have other plans, guys. Okay? They have other plans because they're back home, guys. The UFC is back home, guys. All right, because I don't know if you know, but Paramount, they bought out Spike. Okay? And as you know, guys, Spike TV was the first network to take a chance with the UFC. Okay? And now the UFC is back home. They have signed a multi-billion-dollar contract with Paramount. It's an amazing contract, guys. How you doing, guys? Like and subscribe if you are new to the channel. Okay, how you doing, Dragon? Welcome to your channel. Welcome to your chat. Guys, the UFC have landed right back home. Paramount and the UFC and CBS, because that's all one house right there. One big umbrella right there, CBS and Paramount. They have landed the UFC, and the UFC has a new home, guys. Round of applause. Guys, this deal is much bigger than the ESPN deal, okay? Much, much bigger. The ESPN deal, if I'm not mistaken, was for $1.5 billion for 5 years. Okay, I repeat, that was $1.5 billion for 5 years to be contracted with the UFC. That was the old deal with ESPN. However, the new deal, okay, from 2026 and beyond for the next 7 years after 2026, guys, Paramount and the UFC are in an entanglement, guys. And the new deal, it is for $7.7 billion for 7 years, guys. 7 years, 7.7 billion with a B, guys. The UFC are doing big things, guys. The UFC, apparently they're killing it, guys. How you doing, Carly? Welcome to your channel. Welcome to your chat. Dana White is a billionaire. Guys, this is a crazy, crazy, announcement, crazy news coming from the UFC. This Paramount deal just shows how big the UFC really is. 7.7 billion with a B for 7 years. It's an amazing deal, man. The UFC, they did it right. The Dana White, they did it right. Congratulations to those men who were able to pull off this deal. Okay? Because going from 1.5 billion for 5 years to 7.7 billion for 7 years, that is some hustle. Okay? That is some hustle. But guys, that is not only the big news, okay? Yes, the UFC have made a huge announcement, big contract with Paramount, but even the bigger news right now, guys, okay, is that from 2026 and beyond, the UFC will no longer have the pay-per-view model, guys. Round of applause to the UFC. Round of applause to the UFC for finally moving on from the pay-per-view model. It hasn't been working for the last, I want to say, 4 or 5 years, to be honest with you, since Joe Silva retired and Sean Shelby and Mick Maynard took over. I tell you what, pay-per-view model has went down. Okay, not a bit, a whole lot. Okay, and let's not talk about the illegal streamers. Everybody's illegal streaming. If you can find a way to get something free, people are going to take advantage. Okay, point blank, period. And now the UFC is moving forward with no pay-per-view model. Dean, welcome back to your chat. Welcome back to your channel. How you doing? Right now, we're talking specifically about the big news. Paramount, UFC. UFC is back home with Spike. Okay, the original network that started and kicked off the Ultimate Fighter and brought the UFC where it is today was Spike TV, and now they're back home, baby. Okay, $7.7 billion for 7 years. Unbelievable. It's an amazing deal, guys. It's an amazing deal. The UFC have pulled it off. But guys, who does this affect? Okay, that is another question that I've been thinking about. Who does this affect? What does this deal really mean now that we're moving forward with no pay-per-view model? Okay, you have beautiful lips, man. Thank you so much. I thank you, bro. Ram, bro. Where are you from? I am from Earth. Okay, guys, I am from Earth, and I appreciate you guys. Guys, like and subscribe if you are new to the channel. It takes minimal effort to give me the thumbs up, so you already know. You might as well do it. And like I always say, guys, this is your channel, okay? I am just the pilot, okay? The only channel where the fans come first, not last. But guys, what does this new deal with the UFC and Paramount really mean, okay? There's no pay-per-view, okay? So now the fighters is kind of in a weird spot, to be honest with you, because the champions and those fighters who inspire to be champions, right? Now there's no more pay-per-view points. How does the salary for the fighters look now moving forward with this new model? How does this affect the fighters? Would it affect the fighters negatively? Are they going to get paid significantly less? Are the champions going to get paid significantly less? These are questions that as soon as I was reading about this new deal with Paramount, that's the first thing that came to mind, okay? But I'm going to be honest with you guys. The second thing that came to mind was, fuck it. I'm just being honest. Fuck it. And the reason why I said that was because why am I worried about other people's salary? If they're not worried about it, I'm not going to be worried about it either. Okay? I'm done. Okay? I tried. Okay? I spun my head around talking about how these fighters, okay, they're getting taken advantage of. Okay? A lot of them are. I mean, 5-5, 12-12. Guys, when you get done, the percentage of fighters who are literally are UFC fighters but have to have a part-time job is a high percentage, guys. It's a high percentage. Okay? But I'm done worrying about it. Honestly. I'm done worrying about it. If they're not worried about it, I mean, they didn't even want to fight. They didn't even want to go to court with the UFC and fight for more pay, for fighter pay. So why am I worried about it? They were willing to settle so quickly. I'm not worried about it anymore. I wash my hands with that. Okay? I'm happy right now because now I don't have to pay for any pay-per-view, guys. Pay-per-view model out the window. I am grateful for that. Okay? More money saved in my pocket. Okay? I'm done pocket watching these fighters. Are they getting taken advantage of? Literally. But to each their own. They made their bed. Let me read some of these comments. Dude, what is with the toys in the background? I don't know. What's wrong with them? I mean, what is wrong? Why are you worried about them? They're chilling. They're not doing anything to you, man. Okay? Leave my guys alone. All right, leave my guys alone before I get, the crazy lady over there on you. Okay? You don't want none of her. Okay? Red light, green light. Official Sen says, bro, where are you from? I said, okay. I am originally from up north. Okay? But now I am in the southern hemisphere, okay? GGF, I don't know what you're writing, but I appreciate you. Welcome to your channel. Welcome to your chat, guys. Like and subscribe if you are new to the channel. We are talking about the Paramount and UFC deal and how does this affect the fighters, okay? And how does this affect fighter pay? How is the UFC going to look moving on in the future? These are questions, man. These are questions. But I could tell you what, there's more information about the UFC's plan. Dana White, when he was making this announcement, he talked about having a vision. He talked about having a vision of having the UFC actually hold an event at the White House and it being televised across the world on CBS. I can see that vision. I can see it. And now with this move, I'm actually moving closer and closer to actually believing Dana White and Donald Trump when they're trying to sell this narrative that they're actually holding an event at the White House. Excuse me. I'm actually starting to believe it. It's 50-50 now. Honestly. Check my mic, make sure it's hot. But not only that, guys, the UFC, they plan to expand the UFC Apex. I thought we were getting away from the UFC Apex, honestly. I thought we were getting away from the UFC Apex. There's been so many people complaining about the UFC Apex events. A lot of those events are horrible. All due respect. I mean, the UFC is not putting together Dan Hooker and Dustin Poirier type of, headliners at the UFC Apex. Those days were over fairly quickly. Okay? But apparently the UFC is not going away from the UFC Apex. They're actually expanding the UFC Apex to house about 5 to 10 more additional fans. That's like a small ass arena. So they're definitely not going away from UFC Apex. Actually, now that I'm knowing this information, I actually believe they're going to hold more UFC Apex. And I'm not sure if that's going to be, if the UFC Apex, some of the UFC Apex might be on Paramount. But I honestly think some of these events are going to actually, maybe the UFC Apex, some of those events are going to be televised maybe on Fight Pass. That could be a possibility. Dean says Donald Trump Prime versus Jake Paul. I say Donald Trump. Donald Trump is not a small man, guys. Okay, and if we're talking about Donald Trump in his prime, we're talking about a Donald Trump that could basically run a marathon. Okay, Donald Trump. Go look at his past videos. All right, the guy stands at about 6'2". Okay, and as a young man, he can hit you with a 1-2. And anything can happen. Hi there. How you doing? Like and subscribe if you are new to the channel. It takes minimal effort to give me the thumbs up, so you might as well do it. I appreciate you. Welcome to your channel. Welcome to your chat. But yeah, guys, the UFC is not going away from UFC Apex. And that is pure facts and guaranteed. With this expansion, man, it's crazy. 5,000 to 10,000 additional more fans. That's insanity. I'm telling you, that's a big arena, man. That's a big expansion. This is crazy right now. Oh my gosh, Taco Bread, how you doing? There you go, Taco Bread. Welcome to your channel. Welcome to your chat. Hopefully you're having a good one. But this is big news, guys. The UFC is back home. They're back home. There's new contract with Paramount. 7.7 billion with a B for 7 years. I mean, no more pay-per-view model. UFC expansion. This is I mean the UFC and Dana White just bombarded us with a whole bunch of news all at once. And I appreciate it. I really do. Especially coming, on the week of UFC 319. I'm telling you, I knew that it was going to be a hell of a week. I said it yesterday when I went live, right when I was getting off of the live. I said what I usually say, and then at the end of it, I said it's going to be a hell of a week. And I knew it. But I didn't think it was going to be this much of just a huge news like this. Like, this is unbelievable. Never did I think Paramount even had a chance against Netflix, even against ESPN. I didn't think Paramount even had a chance. And I'm just speaking facts. But Paramount brought out the big wallets and dropped. They dropped their cojones right there on the table. 7.7 billion. What you think about that? 7 years. Signed a contract. UFC was like, I oblige. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'll tell you that. Let me read some of these comments. Yo, dude, seriously, whoa, bro. Fucking whoa. Fucking whoa. So you really just ended your stream the other day just to have your friends collect their records and then change your number? Like, really, at least be real. What? Whoa. How revealing. Unbelievable. Pay-per-view is still going to exist. They already walked that position back. Well, Dana White did. Dana White did say that, they can always have one-offs, right? They can always have one-offs, maybe, 1 or 2, pay-per-views a year, maybe not even, maybe one pay-per-view a year, one big pay-per-view a year. I mean, that's possible. I could see that. I could see that happening. But guys, the big, I mean, come on. I mean, I have a, I'm already subscribed to Paramount, so I don't have nothing to worry about. Once the UFC does their transition into Paramount, all I have to do is sit back and wait and see it unfold. Because I already have Paramount. Paramount, uh, Paramount before getting the UFC, I do think they have to improve. They have to improve. Don't get me wrong, like they, how can I say this? Like they're a great asset to the UFC in a way to broadcast them across the globe because Paramount is known to have great shows. And it's a good streaming service. It really is. But sometimes, like I do find myself, it does sometimes crash. I can't even lie about that. It does sometimes crash, and sometimes I think it's my Wi-Fi, but uh, sometimes it's not. So and most of the time it isn't. So with Paramount, they do have to do some revisiting, but all in all, I think this is a good move for the UFC. I don't know how is it going to affect the fighter pay, but it definitely is going to affect the fighter pay one way or another, because there's not going to be any more pay-per-view points. So the champions, honestly, guys, they're going to get paid significantly less. Excuse me, and the fighters who inspire to be a champion to get those pay-per-view points. I mean, now how do you motivate them, right? How do you motivate them? But I do have a solution, guys. Hold on a second, guys, before I forget this. Okay, I wrote it down. Let me read some of these comments. Next best match for Fluffy. Loser of Kai versus Imarov. Next match for Anthony. I mean, man, I don't know, really. Anthony Hernandez, let me see. I mean, you could put Anthony Hernandez against Rainer de Ritter. That'll be a good matchup. That'll be a really good matchup. They're both on a crazy momentum. RDR just finished beating Robert Whitaker, arguably. So why not put Rainer de Ritter against an up and comer like Anthony Hernandez? Book it. I like it. I like that. You said the N word when pronouncing significantly. What? What? I said the N word? Okay. Sweet face, I love you. If you could ask a question at 319 presser, what you asking? That's a good question. That's a really good question. I like the way you actually just put that out there. And if I had to ask the question, if I was at the UFC 319 presser, one of the questions that I will be asking, right away is, are you really welcoming Chimaev's wrestling? Because there's been rumblings that your coach says that you guys are welcoming Chimaev's wrestling. If you are, if that is the case, is that part of your strategy going into this fight against Chimaev? Is to just beat him in all the positions where he likes to find success? That'll be my first question. Let me read. Patty versus Saruki, and who wins? I don't know. That's a good question. I have to think about that. Have you ever had the delicious Vietnamese cream of some young guy? Some young guy. What is that? Like that just sounds like perverted. You know what I mean? Some young guy. It just sounds perverted. Why does it sound perverted for? I don't understand it. But anyways, guys, like and subscribe if you are new to the channel. Okay, it takes minimal effort to give me the thumbs up, so you might as well do it. Okay, all right. But guys, honestly, I'm telling you right now, stop the incest. All right, there's enough retards walking around the earth. I'm telling you, there's so many retards out here. I'm about to walk around with a book on me at all times so I can put it out every time I see a dumbass, and I'll just be like, here, I'll pick out any page in the book, and I'll be like, read me don't even, I'll do you a favor. Don't even read me the full 5 sentences to make it a paragraph. Read me 3 sentences minimum, okay? Minimum, and then explain to me what you just read. Please do that for me, okay? And I bet you they won't, they can't, they'll get offended. They start getting hostile because that's how dumbasses react. But anyways, guys, stop the incest. Stop fucking your cousins. It's disgusting, guys, okay? But anyways, guys, I found a solution, guys, okay? I found a solution for fighter pay. All right, because with this new pay-per-view model moving forward with this Paramount and UFC deal, honestly, there's no more pay-per-view points. Point blank, period. So how do we come to a solution with the fighters of how the fighters can actually get more fighter pay? Guys, like I said, the UFC is back home on Spike, the original network that kicked off the UFC and gave them a chance. So I believe the only solution that we have moving forward, now that we don't have a pay-per-view model, guys, we need to bring back sponsorships on the fighters' pants, on the fighters' shorts. We need to bring that shit back. We need to bring back the old school UFC. You know what I mean? The 2008, you know what I mean? The legendary UFC. That's what we need. We need sponsorships back on the shorts of the fighters. I want to see Gatorade back on the UFC fighters' pants or shorts. I want to see Nike, okay, on the UFC fighter shorts. I want to see multiple sponsorships on the UFC fighter shorts. I don't want to see it anywhere on the canvas moving forward. Okay? If we're not going to have pay-per-view points, then the only solution we have moving forward is to give the fighters back their sponsorship, guys. What do you think about that, guys, as a solution for fighter pay now that we're moving forward with this UFC and Paramount new deal, no pay-per-view points? Guys, what do you think about this new solution? Bringing back sponsorship for the fighters. Let me know on the chat, okay? Dagestan is done in that case. Haha, the tap out in affliction. Yes, yes. That's what we need, guys. We need to bring back sponsorships on the fighter shorts. You heard it here first, okay? You heard it here first. This is the only solution we have now. No pay-per-view points. Fine. Fine. That's okay. Bring back the sponsorships. That is the only solution we have. Okay, bring that all back, guys. Slowly but surely. Slowly but surely. The vision that I had for the UFC is actually coming to fruition. It literally is. Unbelievable. If the UFC actually bring back sponsorship for the UFC fighters, and we start seeing sponsorship on the UFC fighter shorts, I'm sorry, guys. I want to hear a big thank you to me. Okay? Because I haven't heard this anywhere else. I haven't heard any other YouTube channel talk about solutions for the fighters. Okay? Here I am still worrying about the fighters, even though they're not even worried about themselves, coming up with solutions. But it's a good one. It's a good one. You want a better UFC? Get Dana out. Damn. You hit it with the low blow. You hit it with the low blow. Man, how low can you go? Unbelievable. Maybe Rebuild Monster or Mickey's Fine Malt Liquor Bear sponsor will eat it up. I don't know. They have to. They have to. They have to do something. They have to do something. Okay. They have to do something. Bring back the sponsorships. We need to start a petition. Okay, for the UFC fighters, for the UFC to bring back sponsorships. No more pay-per-view. No more pay-per-view model. No more pay-per-view points. We're gonna need to come to a solution for fighter pay, and the solution is bringing back sponsorship. That's it. That's it. You welcome UFC. You welcome Dana White. You welcome Sean Shelby. You welcome McMader. You welcome MMA community. And you welcome to the UFC fighters as well. Okay? You welcome. Is Canelo versus Crawford weight different too much? Yes, it is. It definitely is. It's a little too much, man. It's a little too much. Canelo is you're gonna see Canelo bully him, man. Okay, you're gonna see Canelo bully him. And look, I like Crawford. Crawford is a fucking animal. All right, he has great technique. He's a great boxer. All due respect, great boxer. But size makes a difference, man. Size makes a difference, especially if we're talking about boxing. You know what I mean? If we're talking about mixed martial arts, then I can say, okay, well, you know what? If this guy, takes him down, gets on his back, he possibly could submit him because he has better technique on the ground. That's not the case with boxing. Okay, boxing is a different story. Spider-Man versus Daredevil. Look, guys, if I had to pick somebody, it's gonna be Spider-Man. Point blank, period. Daredevil does not win that fight. First of all, Daredevil is blind. All right. If I took off my glasses right now, okay, I would be Daredevil. All right. And there's no way I'm beating Spider-Man. Point blank, period. I'm not beating that guy. All right. He has spidey senses and shit. There's no way. There's no way. If you could pick the course of the UFC lightweight division, what fights are you making? Oh man, the course of the lightweight division. Damn, I wish I could see the fighters in front of me, but from the top of my head, let me think. Let me think. All right, I got it. First fight I'm booking right off the bat. First fight I'm booking is Dan Hooker versus Michael Chandler. You could put that as a headliner at the UFC Apex. Okay, actually book it for the UFC Apex for the first event in 2026. Dan Hooker versus Michael Chandler. Dan Hooker gets the opportunity to avenge that loss that he should have never lost against Michael Chandler. The dead body in Michael Chandler. Send his ass packing already. Okay? Sorry, I got excited for that one. But I will book that first. The next fight I'll book is obviously Ilya Topuria versus Arman. You gotta book that. You gotta book that fight. Point blank, period. I don't give a shit what anybody says. Book that fight. And then the next fight that you gotta book is Paddy the Batty. Damn, I actually wrote something down for Paddy the Batty, but I don't know where I put it. Damn, I don't know where I put it. Yeah, Paddy the Batty. I don't know who. Man, I don't know who would Paddy the Baddy fight though. Sorry, I'm thinking right now of the fighters on the top of my head. Yeah, I can't think of it. I don't know. I don't know who would Paddy the Baddy fight. Spider-Man hands down. I'm telling you, Spider-Man. Prime Hulk, the Incredible Hulk, the Hulk we love versus Thanos. Which is a bigger fight, Paddy versus Ilya or Armin versus Ilya? I think they're both big. I think they're both big, respectively. I think they're both big. I think they're both big in their own right. Because I still think a lot of people want to see Armin. I'm one of those guys that want to see Armin versus Ilya. I want to see that fight. And I think there's a lot of people with that same opinion. But when it comes to Paddy the Baddy, I mean, obviously, right? He has a huge fan base. So I mean, if they were gonna go to his home country and have the event, it'll be a big event as well. So I don't know which one is bigger, but I mean, maybe you could say Paddy the Baddy if we're talking about fan base wise. But I still think Armin will do very well. Got to be Gaethje for sure. Yes, there it is. Somebody saved the day. Justin Gaethje, CTE, Justin Gaethje versus versus Paddy the Baddy. That's it. Those are the fights that I'm making, guys. Those are the fights that I'm making. What country you from, bro? I'm from the US of A. Armin is a bigger risk than Paddy for the golden goose that is Ilya for UFC. Hey, I understand, but you gotta do it right, man. You gotta do it right. And I think Armin versus Ilya is the fight to book, and I think Justin Gaethje versus Paddy the Baddy is the fight to make. All right. I don't know why Justin Gaethje is over here crying, complaining, talking about if he doesn't get the fight, he's gonna retire. Well, retire. Retire. All right. You're doing yourself a service. You're doing yourself a service, okay? Because soon you're gonna be a CTE patient, okay? Guaranteed fucking T. I agree, big dog. Yes, yes. Guys, like and subscribe if you are new to the channel. It takes minimal effort to give me the thumbs up, so you might as well do it, guys. Thank you for supporting independent MMA media. And like I always say, guys, this is your channel, the only channel where the fans come first, not last. All right. But yeah, guys, big news. I'm impressed with the UFC. I'm glad they're back home. They're with Paramount, the true home to the UFC. And I'm glad. This is big. This is big. Greetings from Italy. Well, blessings to you. Blessings to you. All right. Hopefully you're having a good one. All right. Welcome to your channel. Welcome to your chat. Okay. Like and subscribe. USA has it too easy. Most people wouldn't survive a month in Uganda. Well, I mean, hey, if you say so, man. If you say so. There's some bad areas over here as well. You know what I mean? Some bad areas over here as well, but I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. If you say so, you know. Um, Armin versus Gaethje makes more sense because Armin can't have a title shot straight away from missing weight. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. I don't know. Who the fuck is rewriting history right now? Because Armin never missed weight. He pulled out due to a back injury. Okay? His coaches advised him to stop because his back was having back spasms in the middle of the night. It is not because he missed weight. I'm done with this false narrative. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. All right? And just because Armin pulled out of one event, now he doesn't deserve to fight for the title. I mean, this is unbelievable, guys. I mean, we have so many people out there writing this narrative, and then we got other people just running with this fucking narrative. I wanted to say we got jackasses running with the narrative, but I didn't want to say that. But that's the reality. We got jackasses running with this narrative when in reality that is not true. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. You know how many fights Khabib Nurmagomedov had pulled out of? Like, like unbelievable amount. And it's not like they didn't give him chances for the belt. I mean, this narrative is unbelievable. I'm done with this dumbass narrative. Just did. I am considering taking combat sports seriously. Not sure yet. Well, that's what's up, man. I mean, I don't know how old you are or anything like that, but let me tell you something. If you are trying to take this seriously, and you are considering, you know, to take this seriously, it's a tough sport, man. It is a tough sport. But I honestly think mixed martial arts at the end of the day, it's a lifestyle. You know what I mean? So you can always use it within your life. You know what I mean? So yeah, reach for the sky. Reach for the sky, man. Oliveira got the shot for the vacant belt over Topuria, so Armin learned his lesson now. Over Armin, not Topuria. Duplessis and still J.R. Smooth is going for Duplessis this weekend. We got a fan. We got a Duplessis fan. I'm 19 years old. I can give you my weight statistics if you want. No, you're good. You're 19 years old. I mean, I don't know what weight division you fight for, right? I mean, if you're 19, it's funny because 19 years old, that was my first competition. I believe I was 19 years old when I had my first competition in Muay Thai. I competed twice in Muay Thai, and that was actually the age 19. I was 19 years old when I first competed, and it was in Norwalk, Connecticut, in a LA boxing gym. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Never thought in 1,000 years I would actually do something like that. But it was fun. It was a fun experience. But yeah, guys. Um, is this the gay commentator stream? I mean, if you say so, you know what I mean? If you say so, man, you know what I mean? Everybody has an opinion. And sometimes, most of the time, opinions are like assholes. They stink. You know what I mean? They stink. You know? But stop the incest, okay? Because to me, you must be one of those. In my opinion, you must be one of those who fuck your cousins. You know what I mean? Please stop the incest. Stop fucking your cousins. There's enough retards walking around this damn earth. Please, okay? And get your ass up and do something. Get off Section 8. Please. Do yourself some justice here. Please stop fucking your cousin and get off Section 8. 2 things you need to do, okay? And the third thing you need to do, work on your reading. Grab a fucking book, okay? Seriously, okay? I'm heavyweight where I am. Oh, damn, you're heavyweight. Okay. Well, if you're 19 years old and you're a heavyweight, look, I'm going to tell you something. The UFC heavyweight division is in shambles. I've been screaming it for the past year. Okay. So if you're a real 19-year-old, you're young, okay, and you're athletic, I say, my dog, get in there. Okay. Because you have a huge chance to get picked up by the UFC. Just knock out a couple dudes. You know what I mean? Your local dudes. You know what I mean? And let me tell you something. The UFC will come calling. That heavyweight division is in shambles. They need heavyweights. Okay? So get your young 19-year-old ass out there and start competing. Okay? Because I guarantee you something, man. I guarantee you something. If you do what I just said right now, in about a year, maybe a year, maybe even short of that, but I'll give it a year and a half, you'll be in the UFC. All right, with the type of shape the UFC heavyweight division is in. Okay? Guaranteed. Get busy, my guy. Till we know the truth about Armin's injury. Everything is a narrative, my friend. Come on, man. Come on. So what is the truth then, huh? What is the truth? What's the truth, huh? He didn't make the weight. That's what you're telling me? But Armin's number one contender, tired of ninjas turning UFC into WWE. My point exactly. This isn't WWE, okay? Armin is the number one contender. He deserves it. I probably need to gain some weight though. I'm fairly tall. Yes, I understand, but I'm in kickboxing right now. I have to learn some groundwork. Okay, okay. Sorry. Um, I say if you're gonna learn some groundwork, all right. If you're a kickboxer, if you're a true kickboxer, right, and you're a kickboxing right now, I say work on everything that's defensive. Okay, work on risk control. Okay, work on work on getting up, off of the fence, off of risk control. Work on things like that. You know what I mean? Work on getting away from a single leg. Single leg to a high crotch. Work on defensive move. Don't try to learn any double leg takedowns. Don't try to learn how to wrestle. Don't try to learn how to do a triangle choke. Don't try to learn anything like that. In my opinion, learn everything that you can learn defensively, because that's gonna put you in a better position to succeed when you do get in a mixed martial arts fight. Because you want to keep the fight standing. You're a kickboxer. You want to keep the fight standing. So the way you're going to keep that fight standing is if you work on your defensive game. Okay, how you get away from wrestlers. You know what I mean? How you get away from Brazilian jiu-jitsu guys. Those are the things that you need to work on. Kickboxing, Muay Thai. Also, man, yeah, those are two great ones, man. Muay Thai was what I got into. Muay Thai and Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Um, it's cool, man. It's cool. Get busy. Get busy. Get busy, Bruno. Okay, that makes sense. I'm 201 centimeters and I'm about 102 kilograms right now. 102 kilograms. 201 centimeters. What the fuck? If I'm not getting it wrong, you're over 6 feet. Give your opinion on Dana White. I mean, look, guys. I mean, I'll translate it to feet and pounds. Yeah, please, please. Give your opinion on Dana. Look, Dana White is great, man. Dana White. I mean, I might say what I say about him, right? About him being checked out and all that stuff. But it's just things aren't the way they used to be, and I don't expect it to be the same way. You know what I mean? Dana White, he's evolving just like I am. So, and just like all of us are. So, I might disagree with him on a lot of things, but I still give thanks to the guy. Okay, it's around 6 feet and 7 inches. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's why I said holy shit. That's why I was like, holy shit, you're a tall dude. You're like over. Cause I wanted to know I was reading it right. You're over 6 feet, so like 6'7", and then around 224 pounds. That's what I was reading. 224 pounds. Yeah, you got to get a little bit. You got to gain a little bit. You gotta gain a little bit. You gotta, but you're 19 years old, man. You know what I mean? Your body is not even fully developed yet. You know what I'm saying? So Bruno, you got a lot of time, man. You know what I mean? You got to give your body some time to develop, and it will. You're a big dude, but soon you're gonna start seeing your shoulders get more, bigger, more broader. You know, probably grow a couple more inches as well. To be honest with you, so you're not done growing. Um, yeah, yeah. I say, what are you, 224? Get up to 235. Get up to 240. Get up to 240 and see how you feel. All right. Put this guy against Aspinall. Oh, Jason 9. Jason 9, welcome back to your chat. Welcome back to your channel. How you doing? Hallelujah, holla back. Put him Uncle Live. Damn, Bruno, they're already trying to put you, up against UFC, fighters up in here. I told you, the UFC heavyweight division is in shambles. They're already trying to put you. I'm telling you, you're 2 ways a win. You're 2 wins away. Sorry, excuse me. You're 2 wins away from being in the UFC. Okay. Blink of an eye. Yeah, I'm looking to put on some more kilos. Yeah, for sure, man. You know, Bruno, I say, yeah, I say 240, 235, 240, and see how you feel. You know what I mean? And move around at that weight and see how you know how the power translates as well. And do your thing, man. I can't wait. I can't wait to watch you in the UFC, man. I honestly cannot wait to watch you in the UFC. Okay, sounds good. Thank you, my man. Lately, I've been doing underground cage fights that pay chump change, but it's something. Well, Bruno, look, be careful. Be careful out there. I understand. You know what I mean. You definitely most likely believe in yourself. And hey, if you're out there doing underground cage fights, you're gonna have to send me a video. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to send me a video of your underground cage fight. You know what I mean? Of something. I want to see this. You know what I mean? Because I want to have the first vids of you know the greatness that's going to get into the UFC. All right, you thought Kimbo Slice was the shit? Well, guess what? I got somebody that was in the calles, knocking out heads over there in underground cage fights. Okay, and now he's headed to the UFC. His name is Big Bruno. You feel me? You feel me? Send me some vids, man. I want to see this. Bruno versus the Grow. Oh my god. Okay, yeah, I feel fast right now, fairly strong, but I can't. But I can definitely gain some weight. For sure, man. For sure, Bruno. Get busy. Get busy, man. Bro is built like Bane. Yo. Bane is a badass, bro. Bane was a badass villain. Okay, and we're talking about Dark Knight Bane, right? We're talking about Dark Knight Bane. Okay, because that dude was vicious. Sounds good. I gotta get ready to go to work, but I definitely try to tune in when I can, and we can talk more. Thank you, my friend. Good to meet you, and I'm glad I subscribed. Thank you so much, Bruno. Welcome to your channel. Welcome to your chat. And don't forget, man, like I always say, this is your channel and this is your chat. All right. I appreciate you. You have a good day at work and be safe. Okay. Be safe. But yeah, guys, huge news coming from the UFC. New deal, $7.7 billion with a B for 7 years. Is a huge come up from the $1.5 billion for 5 years with ESPN. Big move for the UFC. The UFC is not done making moves. Apparently, they're also going to expand the UFC Apex to house 5 to 10,000 more fans. Okay. And guys, no more pay-per-view model. Okay, so how does this affect the fighters? How does this affect the fighter pay? I came up with a solution. The solution was to bring back sponsorships. I want to see sponsorships on the UFC fighter shorts moving forward with this new Paramount deal. I want to see Nike, Gatorade, all Red Bull, all these big companies on the fighter shorts. They deserve it. Now that they can't get pay-per-view points, might as well bring back sponsorships. So wholesome, LO. Shout out Bruno. Finally, no more streaming. That shot would always lag during the main event, bro. Yeah, man. For sure. For sure. But yeah, guys. Huge news. I'm glad the UFC is back home to the original network, Spike. It's Paramount. I understand. But yeah. Jason 9, this motherfucker, I'm 6'2 and 205. Thought I was big. Nah, man, 6'2, 205. I'm telling you, man, you might think you're big, but there's always somebody out there bigger. You know what I mean? There's always someone out there bigger. For real, give the fighters some good money. Exactly, Jason 9. Give the fighters good money. And if there's not going to be any pay-per-view points, let's bring back sponsorships. All right, let's bring that back, guys. That is the only solution we have now. Guys, like and subscribe if you are new to the channel. It takes minimal effort to give me the thumbs up, so you might as well do it. Thank you for supporting independent MMA media, guys. And like I always say, guys, this is your channel. The only channel where the fans come first, not last. All right, guys. I'm out of here. Huge news from the UFC. You guys have a good one. Until next time, guys. Huge, huge news. UFC 319 is ahead of us, guys. Bless.